Hi, and welcome to another Mini Kit Monday, November 2019, layout process number 3. This one is titled Dreams or Dream. I am scrubbing this photograph of my son. He fell asleep on the floor promptly after he had told me that he was going to watch an episode of Magic School Bus. I looked down to tell him about something and he fell right asleep. This was around the time that he was in preschool, I think, and this is prior to us moving to our home that we're living in now. So I am using the collection. What is the name of the collection? I know the name of the collection. Um, Auburn Lane, that's what it is. And then another one by Die Cuts with the View. If you want to know the exact products that I am using, I do have a Mini Kit Monday, November 2019 kit reveal. I do end up choosing these two pattern papers, and they're both that one is from the Die Cuts with the View, and the other one I think is actually from the Auburn Lane collection. I chose this circled pattern paper because it had more of a kid-like feeling with the wonky circles, and so I really wasn't sure what I was going to do for the layout with the I thought at first I was going to lay the pattern paper over the yellow kind of wonky, and I just kind of really wanted to evoke the feeling of love, and the heart shape came to my mind. That's what I'm trying to say. And so right here, I had already picked out that warm and cozy, although I don't know how warm and cozy he is without a blanket, and knowing that he had just fallen asleep because he was tired from school. He had a big day at school that day. I think it was like one of the first weeks he had gone into school, or the first few days. And it just evoked that feeling, maybe warm and cozy feelings in my heart. That's the kind of feelings that he gives me. And so I just felt like it all went together. It was that kind of mood and feel that Janet talks about. I did want this floral pattern paper in there somehow because I wanted to bring in more color. The difference between, or the only thing that these two don't have, they have a similar pink actually. In some of the polka dots, you can see some of that light-ish pink, and they don't exactly match, but they are similar enough that I can play with these two collections together and make them, cohesive. I did punch out with my favorite punch, the EK Success Double Scallop Punch, Border Punch, and I also lined it with the Sakura Jelly Pen in the 10-point size. So here I have really, the last layout I did that was Family Traditions also had stitching in it with embroidery floss, and I really like to get into these techniques. Even though it's probably not the most opportune time, I have a feeling that most of the techniques that have to take time, one, you either have to make time for them, or two, you take them somewhere where you're either on a road trip, or in my instance, for example, I took the family die cut or cut apart, the family hand cut title that I made last month. I took that to Taekwondo, and I ended up making it while my son was, both my kids were practicing Taekwondo. This, I had more time on my hands, and so I was actually sitting down to scrapbook at this moment, and so I just went ahead and did it, even though in the end it made me feel like it took a lot longer because of it, because it does add some time to kind of get the shape. I hand drew the shape, and then I added the holes to it, and it wasn't maybe it wasn't a silhouette cut file that I could have done, but I kind of like doing things with my hands. It's very calming for me. So here I use the back side of the Die Cuts with a View paper, and I'm just making a mat with it, even though it does have irregular cuts in the paper. And I didn't mind that, and I was able to use that yellow once again to make the picture pop a little bit more, but also because it wasn't going to be touching the yellow background paper. And I also wanted to bring in this floral or this green piece. I wasn't sure which one I wanted to do at first, but knowing that I was going to bring in florals into the whole layout, I decided to turn it around and use this pink side of that pattern piece of paper left over, and I decided to make it into a banner shape. At first, I wanted to make a very elaborate banner going like behind and in front of the heart, but I just felt like it was going to take too much time, and since I had already spent time embroidering the heart, I figured I shouldn't try to make anything else more complicated, like drawing a a, a banner to go around the heart, so to speak. So here I'm clustering a few things, and I felt like it was really nice to edge. I corner punch the edge of the warm and cozy die cut. It's just a different way to bring in a different shape, but also kind of add dimension to it or texture because it's not all a straight square. I don't have anything else that's squarish aside from the photo, and I kind of wanted to bring it emphasis by not edge punching the photograph into like a ticket looking type of photograph. So I did it to the cut apart, and then it gave it less of a square shape. It also softened the edges. It also brings more emphasis to the photo. And then I started clustering above and beside that warm and cozy cut apart by putting that green frame. I really love the green in this Auburn Lane collection. And I put the bunny over that with a foam piece. It really didn't have anything to do with the layout, but I figured it also evoked that childlike feeling by bringing in a bunny, and I thought it went. So it was part of the Auburn Lane collection, so I didn't think like it was too far of a stretch for me to try and include it in the layout. I did put on these cabochons. They're kind of darker, and they came from the Paper Studio collections from Hobby Lobby. This one was the Flea Market Fancy. It had these deep, like plum purple type of color, and I feel like it sort of went with the Auburn Lane and the die cuts with the View collection, so I added them so that it could bring in a different type of texture and dimension onto the layout. Most of the layout is pretty flat, and so I did try to add dimensional foam, or the letter stickers are also a little bit foam, like little foam stickers, excuse me, and then also the dream word is in a cork with dispersed glitter within it. I really love those embellishments, and I wanted to bring in some more by adding those cork strips. I don't know if you can see them underneath the feathers. I wanted to incorporate the feathers as well. I couldn't make it seem to work together in my mind. And so I opted not to put in the feathers, but I did try to add a little bit of those little starshine type of pieces of cork. They're little pieces, and they're dispersed throughout the layout as well. I did put the word one over one of the cork banner pieces, and that kind of helped the layout come together because I was adding cork in more than one place. It really says, dream my sweet little one. And the sweet word I used from a collection of dimensional stickers. I'm looking for it right now. They're from Mementa, and they're like a craft word on top of a foam piece. And so that kind of helped it stand out as well. I wanted to add one of these cork hearts. It just didn't end up, it felt like it stood out too much without it being incorporated into the layout. It made it seem more like an afterthought. So that's the end of my layout. I added a few more embellishments like the flowers in the vellum and in the different colors. And here you can see close-ups of all the little details. I really hope that you enjoyed this video process layout. And don't forget to check out the other ladies in the Mini Kit Monday group. We have Becky, Shannon, Kathy, and Traci, and Dollie. So thank you so much for watching. Leave me a thumbs up or a comment, a like, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.